Thanks. Must I switch on my camera?
Sorry.
Yeah,
Would
bro, that
you
will be
like me
great.
to switch on my camera? Okay. Yeah, I am.
How's it going? You good?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good, thank you.
I want to
Yeah.
say, I want to say, take us through the performance, but maybe I should start with I should start with whether you've recovered from that big hit against the Dragons.
So, no, they definitely sidelined me, but lucky it was a dummy play, so I didn't have to catch the ball. But if the ball was going on to me, I probably would have been on a highlight reel on Instagram now. Those three guys taking me out, yeah. Got a nice hit on the ribs, was cramping on my core and cramping on my lower back, so I didn't know what to do actually, but yeah, luckily I was able to finish the game.
Okay, just to get back to the performance itself. Obviously it's one thing to, to come back after such a long time away from the team, but to put in a man of the match performance as well. I mean, would you say you felt like you were in the kind of shape to be able to deliver that kind of performance?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Sim. No, I didn't feel as if I was in, the shape. But like to be honest with you, when the guys were in tour, we had been like working hard. Like it was a group of us, like 10 of us who weren't selected to go in tour. And there were always like those subliminal messages that like we just need to stay ready. Because you never know when the opportunity might come. It's like speaking on last year as well, like a guy like Cornell Smith was brought in for the semis and he played the final as well. Same with Sergio Peterson. So yeah, sort of like, hoping for the best but expecting the worst sort of scenario. But yeah, like yeah, just thankful that I kept, I think more importantly, mentally ready to play.
Now that you've done that, now that you've gone and put up that kind of performance, where are you sitting now with regards to the knockout stages? Because obviously, Escom's still there, Marcel's still there, and Cameron does an awful lot of, good work over the ball as well, like you do.
Yeah.
How do you like your
Yeah,
chances? That's the question, yeah.
sure. I'll be honest with you, Sim. Like at some point you need to be like real with yourself. I mean, like Marco is a Springbok. Marcel has had a very, very good season. And Cameron as well, like is always like reliable and like very, very consistent with the way that he does play. Sorry, someone just trying to call me. So um yeah, I'm very happy with where I am now, but obviously, like I'd like to get an opportunity to play in the playoffs. But if I don't get that opportunity as well, it's something that I didn't like expect in any case. So yeah, I'm just keeping myself like mentally ready and trying to get my body physically ready because you never know what might happen. But I can't speculate too much on what I think the team would be, whatnot. But yeah, I'm just ready for whatever comes.
And then, probably last one from me. Obviously, when you were at Western Province and the Stormers, one of the great
Yeah.
contributors to you not playing was your injury record. I think you kept breaking down. Has it
Yeah.
has that been a contributor here at the Bulls as well, or have the reasons been slightly different?
Yeah, so fortunately, I haven't been injured in over a year, which I think is a record for me in my professional career. So like I'm very grateful for that. Like we spoke just when I started here at the pools, that was something I wanted to focus on. Just what I do off the field and how I can be smarter off the field and on the pitch in terms of like which battles to choose and trying to save my body. Like, I'm not as young as I used to be, and like I can definitely feel it even today that I played a full 80 minutes. So no, I wouldn't say that has been like a big contribution. Obviously, I haven't been injured. But then I just think, yeah, you got to appreciate the quality of competition that we have in the squad. Yeah, I think it's just that like the guys in my position are playing well and they putting up their hand every week. So it's a matter of like if you get an opportunity to try to as well as you can to also show that you know also good enough to be there.
Thanks. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
No, Ronaldo, yeah. I know we
And
had
Shinada, how are
a
you?
full conversation last year on our podcast, and I asked you a lot of questions, and obviously your move to the Bulls. And you've basically just touched on that now when it comes to obviously you not being, let's say, injury prone.
Yeah,
But also, we just had a conversation with Bernard, who also is obviously leaving the Bulls. And I mean, for you as a player, and again, I'm taking this from my perspective, it's hard when you are in a team and you're not playing every week, but you feel you are good enough to be chosen. So, I mean, what are you doing currently to keep your mindset strong? Because I don't think people realize when you haven't played for so long, for you to come this weekend and deliver a performance like you did. I haven't really seen much of that in my whole career as well. So congratulations on that. But I mean, what did you do to get yourself in that mindset to perform as well as you did this weekend?
yeah. Thanks, Ronaldo, for that. Um, yeah, there's something that I always post on my Instagram story to say, "What if today's your lucky day?" So you must always try again every day and do your best. And I guess in essence, it's been that because when I first had my back injury, there was a point, and I'm sure you've had this injury, and also uh, Damien's brother at the Stormers, whether the nerve comes back or it doesn't come back, we didn't know. And it was like sort of a similar thing for me and my lower back. So I just told myself, like, that's almost 2 years ago, that, you know, I'm going to try my best today. If it comes back, then good. And then, like, fortunately, I was able, like, you know, to get back onto the rugby pitch. And that just, like, stayed with me. Obviously I can't control who the coach picks or whatnot, but like I can really control my mental state. So like every day when I get into training, I just tell myself, what if today is gonna be a lucky day? And I guess yeah, Saturday was a lucky day for me.
And then just looking at obviously you obviously want to play in the playoffs, but if that does not come to you, I mean, where do you see yourself in the next couple of seasons going ahead? Because I mean, again, with a performance like yourself this weekend, you are obviously starting to ask questions from the coaches, which is not always a great thing, but it is what it is. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're putting your hand up.
Yeah, I think for me the big thing now is to look towards Curry Cup. Like obviously, whether I play in the playoffs or I don't play, like I'm gonna do my best to make sure that the team does well and that the team environment is healthy. You know, you need to like prepare the guys as best as you can. But like also, I think individually, like really looking to have like a good Curry Cup. So just wanna like you know brush on the things that I'm probably not so good at and like be able to put up a good campaign. And then hopefully from there, I would have like, you know, done enough to be considered more going into the next URC. I am still contracted here at the Bulls until next year in June, but you know, anything could happen.
And just a last question from me, Nama. We had a conversation with James Fenter this week from the Sharks, and
Yeah.
he had another certificate which he qualified for his LLB. How
Yeah.
important do you think it is for guys, not in your position, but guys that are on the fringes, that's not playing every week, to obviously get some sort of formal education, to have a life outside of rugby? I know we've spoken about it in the
Yeah.
past, but just for the broader public, your opinion on that.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I went to school with James. He was a year ahead of me and he was always like a well-rounded guy. So like I'm really happy for him that he got his LLB. I think he also got his like BCom law at UJ. I I think, you know, the biggest fallacy with us rugby players is thinking we don't have time. Like for example, like we started this morning at 6 and it's almost 2 o'clock now, 1:30, and then I'm done for the day. So I've got like from 2 o'clock till 9 o'clock when I go back to bed to be doing something else with my life. So I think that's one. People will lie and say we don't have time. We actually have so much more time, you know, than the average human being, you know, living our lives. And more so if you're on the fringes, then you've got like double more time because you don't have to go home and like stress about the games and you know like do your analysis as much as the guys who are playing. So I think it's very important. One, if you're on the fringes, it helps you keep your mind, out of feeling sorry for yourself, because it's very, very easy like to get into that cycle of like self-follow and feeling sorry for yourself. And then, there's things like depression, that keep in. So I think it's important in that sense, and like in keeping your mind, sharp and feeling that you have like purpose. Because I mean, if we're being honest with yourself, if you're not playing on the weekend, you sort of like lack that sense of purpose for yourself. Like, what am I doing with myself? Am I just here like to hold bags or whatnot? So I think it's important in that, in giving yourself purpose as well.
Thanks, Naman. Yeah, thank you. I
Yeah.
mean, I think you can be a very big inspiration for a lot of the guys at the Bulls, but also other unions. So, yeah, thank you for being open and honest about it, because I think it's very needed in today. And, yeah, looking forward to see you at Loftus again in a
Yeah.
couple of days. Good luck, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Ronaldo.
How's it, Norma?
Yeah.
I see you've
Envy, how you
actually
doing?
got. Yeah, I'm lekker, man. It's so good to see
Yeah,
you. And I
okay.
actually asked Jake the
Yeah.
question whether you were okay after that match, because you seem to be in a lot of pain after that tackle.
Yeah, I was, stayed down for a good minute. Yeah, I just got sidelined into the ribs. And I think
Mm.
in halftime already, I didn't expect to play the 80. So my game plan was to push hard for 40. And then by the time 50-minute comes, like I thought I was gonna get subbed. Like even when Marcel came on, I took off my gum guard. So no, I'm going on for Cameroon. And then I'm just looking up and like, oh, there's 30 minutes to go. So I was already starting to cramp, but I think that was just a big blow on my ribs. And then I started cramping everywhere from there. But yeah, I'm fine now.
You just, Ronaldo just asked you about studying. I see you've got a BSc in geomatics. You went to Cape Town to study for, but you came from Durban, and
Yes.
I'm very interested if you were from Glenwood, Headboy, and everything, and then went to Cape Town to the Stormers, and now you're in Pretoria, the bastion of the Bulls. I was wondering about
Yeah.
the cultural differences. What did you experience? What's different between all these different unions?
Yeah. It's sort of like I'm doing a full tour of South Africa, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like obviously Durban, I was sort of like gates kept in the boarding house, so I can't comment too much on Durban because obviously I played for Natal or KZN RU before it was called the Sharks, from under 12 all the way into under 18, but then we weren't really part of the union, so I can't really comment too much about that. I'd say, my time at the in the Western Cape, UCT and the Stormers, I was very fortunate to go from under 19 with a lot of like my very, very good mates who are still like my best mates now. So in a lot of times, like culturally, it didn't feel as if I'm going to work or doing a job. And like it's not an indictment now on the Bulls saying like it feels like I'm doing a job now, but it's sort of like, it's in that sense, like maybe like mindset, it's like definitely more professional. Like you're here to be a professional and here to perform. And I'd probably say yeah, maybe I'd say maybe the biggest difference culturally between the Western Cape and Pretoria. Obviously, like climate-wise, like it's different, two different cities. Like Cape Town's like there's so much to do. Pretoria, I'm still just finding my feet in terms of like what to do, what community I slot in. But I'd say at the Stormers, the biggest philosophy that Dobbo would have is that in order for us to play well, we need to get along off the field. And here it's like we need to play well so we can get along. So it's sort of like, that nuance or that contrast there. But I'd say in terms of like professionalism and wanting to do well, it's still pretty much, the same.
One thing Jake did this year is he rotated better. And I
Yeah.
suppose when we get to the Champions Cup next year, there's going to be even more focus on that. Do you see a bigger role for yourself, maybe in the more extended senior squad, URC Champions Cup, a big opportunity in terms of more rotation happening going forward?
Yeah, India, I don't want to like look too much into that, yeah, because yeah, that's how you break your heart sometimes. As I said, like if I'm involved in the playoffs, I'll put my best foot forward. But I'm really, really looking at, having a big impact in this Currie Cup. And I think if I'm able to do well in the Currie Cup, then, that question will arise then and there, whether if I should be playing more or not.
Just on the Currie Cup, lastly, Coach Piwe, I think has made a big difference when he's coming to the Bulls, bringing young talent
Yeah.
through him and Kennedy. What's it work like?
Yeah.
What's it work like for you, also being from the Sharks initially, working with Piwe?
Yeah, so I actually haven't worked with Piwe or in my younger age groups because I was last at the Sharks in 2015. I think he was still in Selborne. But like I've known him since there. Like my roommates, David Brits was his coach in high school, and he's always like spoke highly of him. So when I first got here to the Bulls and worked with him, I see why he spoke so highly of him. He's a guy who really prides himself in like, delivering excellence. Like the first meeting I had with him, he spoke about this acronym called PRIDE, personal responsibility and delivering excellence. And I think that very, like, really, really resonated with me. I mean, we came short now in the Currie Cup, losing like narrowly in that semi-final, but I think this season's gonna be, a bit different. Like Pure wants us like to really like play to our strengths and like, and play without fear. So like I'm really excited for that.
Sorry, I said it last week, but one more. What's it like
Yeah.
being a Bull now and you play against the Stormers? If the Bulls, run out to the Stormers against the Stormers, and maybe they're like a semi-final against the Sharks. Having like taking your journey into account, is it difficult to support the team that you used to support in the past or play for?
Yeah, so I started off as a Sharks supporter in, in primary and high school. Then as I went to the Stormers, I had to change to being a Stormers supporter. Now I'm a Bulls supporter. It's obviously it's very hostile with the North-South derby. Haven't yet played as a Bulls player in Cape Town. And I was speaking to some of the guys who played, and they just said it's different gravy. How the faithful at the Stormers will treat you as an opposition. Um, so yeah, I haven't really, really experienced that much. But I think the guys at the Sharks, guys at the Stormers, guys at the Bulls, like we all, sort of like played against or alongside one another. So it's all like at a friendly basis. It's just like, on the field, it's business time and it's professional. So yeah,
Thanks, man. Good luck for the season. It
yeah,
was so nice talking to you.
yeah,
I appreciate it.
yeah. Thanks, MJ.
Nama, sorry, I've got one last
Yeah,
question for you.
yeah,
Um,
sure.
from my perspective, just looking at the SA Cup that was played now, and
Yeah.
looking at a lot of guys in the URC who aren't getting game time. I mean, from your perspective as a player, do you think you might benefit from maybe going to a smaller union to maybe get some game time in the SA Cup? Do you think it might benefit the players, and also just getting yourself in a better mental space to have some game time? I know it's obviously a lot of logistics around it, but
Yeah.
what are your thoughts around that with the Vodacom Cup obviously not being there anymore?
Yeah. I think definitely. Obviously, there's a lot of like moving pieces with that, in terms of obviously like let's take our squad for example, because we need like a full squad for the guys who are playing to see pictures and to train against. But I think for me, the biggest thing that I've learned so far in my rugby career, and like one of the older guys have told me, like I remember training with Peter Steff, and he told me this thing that you need to play rugby to get better. Um, there's no use. You can do as many breakdown drills on the side as you want to do, but if you're not seeing pictures in a real environment where there's so many uncontrolled factors, I'm not really gonna get better as a fetcher. So I think yeah, it is important. We want to play rugby in essence. We rugby players, and going back to the thing about feeling a sense of purpose, you feel purpose when you are playing. So I don't know how unions would do it, or maybe like the guys in those like unions, like the Pumas, Griquas, Boyland. If someone coming down from the Bulls to come take their spot, how that would work, I'm sure they also wouldn't be happy about that. But just looking, in my opinion, yeah, we need to, be playing more rugby to be getting better.
Yeah. Okay. Good luck,
Yeah.
Nama. We'll chat again.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Cool.
Naman, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Pleasure. Cheers, guys.